Wow. A lot has changed before your eyes here. Hi, my name is Cheyenne Schwinn, and this is my last log for Full Sail University in the game design program. Um, I graduate as of today, actually. Sunday, what's today? Sunday, August 27th. It is 11:16 a.m. and I am very, very exhausted, but very happy and very excited to show you the work that I've done this sprint for Blades and Bullets, which is a project that I've been working on for nearly a year now. Wow, it's been a year. That's crazy. And yes, I have a different setup. I am no longer at my coffee table over there. I have a real desk. Got my Xbox and got my computer set up. I got my little fluffy buddies up here to chill with me and deliver this awesome content to you. My voice is a little hoarse, so I'm sorry if I clear my throat and stuff like that throughout the presentation. So, without further ado, here is the second sprint, my last sprint of August for month 12 of Full Sail University's excelled program in game design. So as I said, that's supposed to say August. I forgot to change it from last month. We are in August, month 12, with Robin Coleman as an online remote student from Illinois around the Chicago area. So if you're in Chicago, come say hi. My work hours completed this sprint was 100 hours and 35 minutes. The total hours were 100 and the monthly expected hours of me were 100. Alright, so my achievements this sprint was that I finished the data entry and narrative design for the pickup items in game. Unless more pickup items pop up, then I don't mind. I'm gonna end up probably writing for them as well. I learned how to use an Unreal Engine data table, which I actually didn't know existed. And I learned new techniques for Blender and practiced modeling in Blender, which was very fun. And I also learned how to do like texturing and stuff with a friend before, and will be using texturing in my future projects. As the objectives are, the objectives were to partially or finish the 3D signs and chests. I dropped the chest for right now because they needed the narrative design done first, so I did the pickups for the game instead, and we need to get the story fleshed out as we are hoping to release very soon. So I finished the sign, depending if it's approved. I sort of like it, but sort of don't at the same time. There's a lot about polys and stuff like that for the lines and everything in the mesh, and the lesser lines you have, the less fine the sculpting is. So we'll see what happens. I wrote the narrative for the pickup items in game, and that is the objectives that I had for this sprint. I had CCEs, which is a special thing. I did narrative CCEs, which was really fun, and I had a lot of fun doing it. A lot of documentation, writing, and character development. So CCEs were what I was focusing on in week 3. So there's nothing on the objectives for whatever I was doing in week 3 because I really wasn't doing anything. So I'm just gonna flat out say this. Pretty much at the start of the month, I was all over the place. Work got really stressful, and on top of work being stressful, a man decided it was a good idea to try to turn in front of a Hemi Charger going 35 miles an hour. And he didn't press on his gas fast enough, and he ended up causing me to wreck my charger, which I know you've seen videos of me in the charger. If you've seen other videos in my other projects, pretty sure I had some other projects at the beginning of the month that I did that had me driving in the Charger or had the Charger in frame somewhere. Yeah, so it's another moment where life happens, and I was very attached to that Charger. It was pretty much going to be my sports car for the ages. But sadly, as I do work in auto insurance, I knew when I saw the damages and the frame bent and everything, I knew that they were going to total my car. So, on top of how much I was attached to the car, be it stupid for some people, it was a way of therapy for me and a way of release. And I went out and drove behind where my dad works. He works at a professor, as a professor in a college, and behind the college there's a bunch of nice open road of back roads within hills and forests and trees, and it's a beautiful, beautiful scenery. And we have even some lakes over there that I used to go and drive out to and just relax and sit in the meetings for school or do schoolwork myself on my phone. Yeah, so I did a lot in that car, and I'm very sad that it had to go. So, being as devastated as I was throughout that week, CCEs were difficult for me because it was literally the weekend before I started CCEs. And then after I finished the CCEs, things started getting a little less hectic. I felt less, stress. But moving forward, pretty much today, I graduate. So, I guess as a part of my graduation present to myself, I have become the proud owner of a 2020 Honda Civic. I bought a white Honda Civic literally yesterday, and have a lot of fun plans for the cosmetics for that. I already have a bunch of stickers that I'm going to be putting on the windshield, on the back. Yeah, fun times. So, as life happens, so does moving on through hard work, inspiration, and motivation. And I finished out my work pretty much using those bases. I was very proud of the pieces that I worked on in Blazing Bullets, and have decided to stick around for the long run. The team's a really amazing team, and they have been around for through thick and thin, for personal issues or for academic issues. I've learned way more than I have learned over the years by myself, just from my peers alone. So I am very, very happy and very grateful for their help. So, it's time for new challenges, adventures, horizons, and new life. So, as I said, week 3, CCEs, no logged hours, I was on vacation, sort of, and car hunting at the same time. As you can see right here, here is my sad and upsetting picture that I decided to put in here of my poor Charger sitting there after the accident. But as I said, out with the old, in with the new, life happens, and it can be a downer, but you can always find your way forward, which I decided the way forward was a Honda Civic. So there's me in my car there. And I guess with my new degree comes new achievements, new possibilities, new challenges, and Full Sail University has allowed me to have all of that and more, and comes with this new beginning. So moving on to the work, in week 4 I did the Unreal Engine database and narrative design and editing, along with some meetings. As you can see there, there's some like little bits and pieces like explaining what it is or what it's supposed to be. And then I wrote some stuff from the base sword down to the carrot juice I wrote, and then a few of those other ones I edited just so it'd be grammatically correct, or like if I wanted to like clear it up a little bit, because some of those didn't need to be changed. The rusty sword down to leather I also updated and changed it just to make it a little more lively. So basically, I wrote and edited narrative for the pickup items descriptions and input them into the Unreal database myself. So yeah, as you can see, continued here. I got some more descriptions there. Yeah, so I sort of used the little picture down here, right here to like make me understand what it is. So like the ice arrow, ammo for your bow, sharp and expertly crafted. It has an icy tip, a telltale sign of the frigid power it holds. Just simple things like that to make it a little more lively. And then we got, you know, potions and armor and stuff. The armor was not done yet. Later that day, because it was really late. I think it was like 12 or almost 1 a.m. when I was doing these, and I had work the next day, so I had to move on. So yeah, things like a bottle of potent liquid. It feels like you just drank rocks, but you feel more sturdy when you drink it. So why not? And it's an armor potion. So things like that, just to make it a little more exciting, I guess, when you're reading it. And then these were the leftover descriptions that I had to do. So we had regular, like, it's a steel helmet, it's a steel chest piece, it's like normal stuff. So I livened it up, and later that the next day added the descriptions into the database after work, because I actually was sitting at work doing schoolwork, because it was slow that day and I work in queues, so when the queue is empty or full, that gives me either time to do other work or to be working really hard at my own job. But during this time, it was super slow. So the queue was empty, I did all my work, and I decided, you know what? Let's just go ahead and write the descriptions that I took a picture of last night, and there they are. I took on writing up all those descriptions, I put it in an email, and I sent it to myself, and then later on implemented them into Unreal Engine. I learned how to push and pull things too, because that's the first time I ever pushed or pulled anything in Unreal Engine. So GitHub, I didn't want to break anything, so I sort of learned how to do it through John and Fred there, in my team. So yeah, so pretty much same thing, just descriptions and stuff. I did research a little bit about what agility meant, and some of the words meant to like enhance my wording. And then over on that third picture there, it says leather ring of agility / ring of the vixen. I came up with ring of the vixen because agility is like limberness and swiftness, and when I looked up agility, I saw swiftness and I thought fox. So I looked up what foxes were, just to make sure I was not I wasn't wrong. I was sure a vixen was a fox, and it said that vixens are foxes, like red foxes, and it's, you know, foxes are limber and swift, etc. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I renamed it Ring of the Vixen, and then I talked to them and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And they were like, sure, I don't mind it. So, a little bit of, I guess, concept work went into this as well. So yeah, I had a lot of fun writing these little descriptions. And then moving on to something that I did yesterday and today, had a lot of fun messing with a little bit of modeling. I was going to be modeling the signs and everything before, like with the chest work, but then we had to get the descriptions down because they needed to be in the game, since the items needed to be in the game, and blah blah blah. So here is some sign work. I tested out some sculpting with lower polys, and it was not working. I had to add some polys, the lines and stuff. I had to add some lines, some points, and then it turned out to look like this. And I'm like, I mean, it could work, so I may stick with this or I may not. I'm not sure. So we'll see. But that second picture there is the sculpting with the same polys, but harsher, I went back and resculpted it to try to give it more shape, and then I got that shape down in the third picture there, and I'm like, not bad. So the sign may or may not be done, depending on what the what they say. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I still have to mess with the chains up there. The sculpting is gonna be very, very detailed for the chains. If I do decide to sculpt it or if I decide to run it through a modifier, we'll see. I have to mess with it because I don't want to break it. I don't want to go too far because Blender only will let you go back as far as, however many changes there is or how many actions there are. Just like how Photoshop does. So if you mess up something, you have to restart the whole thing if you don't like it and you made too many mistakes. So yeah, that is everything that I have for the sprint. Thank you for your time. I know we ran a little bit longer because of the whole story with my car and everything, but Full Sail has been a a really interesting and big step in the direction for me. And my career path has changed a little bit. Maybe I'm pushing towards getting my fine arts degree in in addition to the fine arts classes that I'm going to be doing. I may be going towards teaching art. I really love art, just digital, any kind of form. I am a photographer. I paint. I do spray paint. I do charcoal. I do chalk. I do pastels. I do Photoshop. I do modeling now with Blender. I do voice acting. I literally am a book of all trades at this point. I do a billion different things and I can't choose one thing. And being a teacher of art means that I could teach literally any of those topics. So I may be moving on to something like that in the future. But Full Sail has given me another art form, game design, and game art. So we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to say thank you for sticking around and enjoying the time that I've spent in school and just learning about me and my family, and just all the things that have happened over the year that I've been here. It has gone really fast, and I'm excited for what comes next, I guess. So, we'll see you in the next video of whatever I make, be it a short or another school video, but I really, really need a nice, long, relaxing break. So, see you later, and thank you for everything. My teachers, my cohorts, and my co-workers at this point. My family, my friends for sticking up with all my stressfulness, and all the whining and crying. Thank you to coffee and shout out to Monster. No, not Monster. Shout out to Red Bull, really. Because I wouldn't have been able to do any of this if I wasn't half asleep or not half asleep, depending on the energy that I had. Alright. On to New Horizons and, well, on to new life. Bye.